Management JFM highlight its potential in improving the livelihood of the forest dwellers and fringe forest communities. Approach explain the term joint forest management with respect to India. Through examples, highlight the significance of participation by local communities in joint forest management with the government authorities. Mention the improvements that the Joint Forest Committee has made/can make with respect to the lives of forest dwellers. Conclude. Answer. Joint Forest Management JFM is partnership involving both the forest departments and local communities in natural forest management. The concept was introduced by Government of India through the National Forest Policy of 1988. Under JFM, village communities are entrusted with the protection and management of nearby forests. The communities are required to organize forest protection committees, village forest committees, village forest conservation and development societies, etc. Each of these bodies has an executive committee that manages its day-to-day affairs. In return of their services to the forests, the communities get the benefit of using minor non-timber forest produce. As a result, the forest can be conserved in a sustainable manner. For example, controlled grazing of cattle by the Godi and Gujjar tribes in the Himalayan states prevents the widespread growth of wild grass, thus contributing towards conservation of biodiversity. Bishnoi community of Rajasthan plays a very significant role in ecological conservation. Joint conservation effort with the nomadic tribe of Maltaris, living in vicinity of Gir National Park, has contributed to the improvement of lion population. The potential role of joint forest management in improving the livelihood of the forest dwellers and fringe forest communities are as follows. For working in coordination with villagers, forest committees are constituted, which play an active role to increase the agriculture and forest production and processing their produce. Employment opportunities, such as sustainable tourism, are created in villages so that villagers are dissuaded from illicit felling and encroachment of forests. Attempts are made to provide other basic facilities so that pressure on forest is minimized. The Panchayat Extension to Scheduled Areas Act, 1996, along with the Forest Rights Act, plays a significant role towards ensuring entitlement to forest dwellers. A specific woman subcommittee in the Joint Forest Management Committee JFMC ensured gender balance. The JFMC provides training on animal husbandry, poultry farming, dairy development and managing small forestry enterprises, along with implementation of the National Rural Employment Guarantee Program in fringe forest areas. Non-wood forest products and WFP are also important to JFM. And WFP are integral to lifestyle of forest-dependent communities. They fulfill basic requirements, provide gainful employment during lean periods and supplement incomes from agriculture and wage labor. Medicinal plants collected through JFM have an important role in rural health. Thus, the significance of joint forest management lies not only in optimizing forest use and ecosystem management but also in adopting an inclusive approach towards ensuring that the forest dwellers become a part of the mainstream development. 11 www.visionaries.in Copyright Vision IAS. 11. The metallic minerals found in India are mainly confined to the Peninsular Plateau region. What are the reasons for their uneven distribution? Also, discuss the impact it has on the location of industries in India. Approach. First of all, give a brief spatial picture of different metallic minerals distribution in India. Then bring out reasons for their uneven distribution. Finally, discuss the impact it has on the location of industries in India with examples. Answer. The map of distribution of minerals in India depicts that most of the metallic minerals occurrence are mainly confined to the Peninsular Plateau region with sporadic occurrence in few other regions. The metallic minerals mainly consist of manganese, bauxite, copper and iron ore. The region comprising the Shahjanagpur Plateau and the Orissa Plateau covering the states of Jharkhand, West Bengal and Orissa accounts for country's 93% iron ore production. Other regions having peninsular characteristics, like southwestern belt comprising Karnataka and Goa, possess garnet iron ore, and Karnataka Plateau and Tamil Nadu possess bauxite and ferrous minerals. Central belt includes Andhra Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh and Maharashtra, which includes bauxite and manganese, etc. The reasons for their uneven distribution is attributed to the varied geological structure of the country. The plateau region represents the ancient shield of the Earth's crust. The ancient shield was formed out of volcanic eruptions and contains solidified magma. The lava brought out deposition of many minerals in the region. Thus, the bulks of valuable minerals are products of pre-Paleozoic age and are mainly associated with the metamorphic and igneous rocks of the peninsular India. Whereas, the northern plains are the most recent physiographic features formed by alluvial deposits brought by the rivers. Thus, the vast tract of North India is devoid of minerals of economic significance. The location of minerals is a huge factor in determining the location of industries apart from factors like availability of water, connectivity, labor availability, etc. Few illustrations. Industries using weight-losing raw materials are located in proximity to source of raw materials. For example, in iron and steel industry, both iron ore and coal are weight-losing raw materials. This is why most of iron and steel industries are located either near coalfields, i.e. Bokaro, Durgapur, etc., or near source of iron or ibeldrapatite, galena and rhodia. Similarly, Vijayanagar steel plant at Hospet uses iron ore and limestone. The Salem steel plant in Tamil Nadu is also one such example. The location of aluminium industry is governed mainly by the availability of bauxite. For e.g., HINDALCO has its aluminium plant in Renukoot in India. The main sources of lead and zinc ore is the Zarwar deposits of Rajasthan. The Dibari plant of Udaipur, erected by Hindustan Zinc, is one such example. 12. The mining of sand and gravel has reached the level that is threatening the environment and ecosystem. Comment. What can be done to ensure that such mining is carried out in a sustainable manner? Discuss in context of the guidelines issued by the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. Approach. Give a brief picture of mining of sand and gravel in India. Bring out its threats/effects on environment and ecosystem. Discuss in context of guidelines issued by MoCC to ensure that such mining is carried out in a sustainable manner. 12. www.visionis.in Copyright Vision IACE. Answer. With rapid urbanization and infrastructure development, the mining of sand and gravels has seen exponential rise in recent decade. Though no official data on quantum of sand mining of sand and gravel is available, yet it can be very easily assessed that it is causing serious issues to environment and ecosystem as it impacts stream habitat due to increase in river gradient or increase in sediment transport and sediment deposit. This may increase turbidity, which prevents penetration of light required for photosynthesis. It may lead to bank erosion and change of morphology of river, causing destruction of riparian vegetative cover. It may lead to shifting of channels, causing floods in unflooded areas. It may pollute groundwater by reducing the thickness of filtered materials, especially when done at the top of recharge fissures. Unscientific and unregulated sand mining may lead to severe health hazards due to air quality degradation and dust fog. It may lead to increased concentration of suspended sediment in the river, which in turn causes siltation of water resources projects. Degradation can deplete the entire depth of gravelly bed material, exposing other substrates that may underline the gravel, which could in turn affect the quality of aquatic habitat. To ensure that mining is carried out in sustainable manner, recommendations under the Sustainable Sand Mining Management Guidelines 2016 by the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change may be followed, which includes getting environment clearance for mining lease by the appropriate district or state or central level authority. This should include mandatory public consultation, reducing dependency on sand through training of architects and engineers, and shift towards alternative source of aggregates other than sand and gravel, deploying high-end technologies for conducting scientific and systematic mining, better monitoring through remote sensing, etc., tracking of mined out mineral, as well as for promotion of manufactured sand and artificial sand in construction. Identification and proper demarcation of mining area, considering minimum distance between mining sites and crucial hydraulic structure or riverbank, replenishment rate of river, whether stream channel is abandoned and not active, etc. Concentrate activities to minimize disturbance. Extraction from riverbed should be localized to a few bars so that habitat and species diversity is not affected. Also, one key challenge to sustainable sand mining is that of illegal mining. The center and states must ensure vigilance, and necessary guidelines must be issued regarding same. Cue can be taken from Kerala, which has put in a robust mechanism to check illegal mining. Only through such comprehensive efforts sand mining can become a sustainable activity. 13. Wetlands are being lost rapidly due to encroachment and rapid urbanization. In this context, critically analyze the provisions of the new Wetland Conservation and Management Rules 2017 notified by the government in dealing with the situation. Approach: start with a basic definition of wetlands. Then giving a brief picture of wetlands in India. Bring out some reasons for their loss. Finally, analyze the provisions of the new Wetland Rules 2017 in dealing with the situation. Answer: wetlands can be defined as lands transitional between terrestrial and aquatic ecosystems where the water table is usually at or near the surface or the land is covered by shallow water. They support rich biodiversity and provide wide range of ecosystem services such as water purification, flood mitigation, etc. 13. www.visionaries.in Copyright Vision IACE. Of late, wetlands are threatened due to encroachment, rapid urbanization and activities like pollution, hydrological alteration, overexploitation, etc. In this context, the government has come out with new Wetland Conservation and Management Rules 2017. Features of the new rules: setting up of National Wetlands Committee NWC headed by MoCC Secretary, to monitor implementation of these rules and oversee works carried out by states and to advise central government. Setting up of state wetland authorities in each state/UTS headed by state's environment minister, which will develop comprehensive list of activities to be regulated and permitted within notified wetland and their zone of influence. It will also define strategies for wise use of wetlands and its conservation, prohibition of activities like conversion of wetland for non-wetland uses including encroachment of any kind, setting up and expansion of industries, waste dumping and discharge of untreated wastes and effluents from industries, cities, towns, village, etc. Mandatory preparation of a list of all wetlands and list of wetlands to be notified within 6 months by state authorities. Based on it, a comprehensive digital inventory of all wetlands will be created and updated every 10 years. However, there are some shortcomings cited by environmentalists and therefore, they are apprehensive about the effectiveness of the new rules. They are silent on the process of appeal against the decision of wetlands authorities. The term wise use to be determined by the state wetland authority is open to wider interpretation and may be misused. 2010 and 2016 rules covered all wetlands, including man-made wetlands other than river channels and paddy fields. The new rules exclude human-made water bodies and structures constructed for aquaculture, salt production, etc. Passing of identification and notification of wetlands to the states have been criticized on the grounds that they have a poor record of their conservation in the past. Nevertheless, the new rules have tried to decentralize the responsibilities by setting up a state wetland authority. It will also increase expertise in this area as this authority will involve one expert each in the field of wetland ecology, hydrology, fisheries, etc. It may also enhance the conservation work at local level. 14. Processing and safe disposal of garbage must replace the current model of landfills in order to transform our cities to being smart. Elucidate. In this context, analyze the reasons for failure of waste management policies in India. Approach: briefly give your understanding of a smart city in context of garbage management with description of current model of waste disposal, i.e. landfills. Mention the advantages of garbage processing over landfills. For the second part, briefly mention the waste management policies in India. Then, enlist reasons for failure of waste management policies. Give a forward-looking conclusion. Answer: when it comes to garbage management, smart is synonymous with sustainable. As the UNREP report projects that by 2050, 60% of India's population will come to live in urban areas. India has started on a mission to turn its cities smart. Municipal solid waste (MSW) management forms one of the crucial infrastructure services in this context. Currently, MSW is not managed scientifically. Out of the 62 million tons empty of MSW generated per annum, only 43 empty is collected. 11.9 empty is treated, while 31 empty is dumped in landfill sites. This unscientific and unsanitary dumping leads to various problems. 14. www.visionaries.in Copyright Vision IACE. Contamination of groundwater due to leachate generation in landfills posing health risks. Leachate is the liquid formed when waste breaks down in landfill and water filters through waste. This liquid is highly toxic and can pollute land, groundwater and streams. Landfills also generate greenhouse gases like methane. These gases are inflammable and can lead to fire as well. Huge quantum of untreated waste creates challenge of land availability disasters such as collapse of Gazipur landfill in East Delhi, recurrent fires at Gilnar landfill in Mumbai, etc., leading to casualties. Thus, going by sustainability principle, garbage processing offers the following advantages: proper segregation of waste at source, making subsequent steps such as recycling and resource recovery easier. Reduced final residue can be and discarded scientifically in sanitary landfills. Energy from waste element converts waste into renewable energy and organic manure, and also reduces the volume of waste. Various stages such as collection, transportation, treatment, etc. Offers employment opportunities. Concerning the waste management, the government came up with various policy measures such as Environment Protection Act 1986, Solid Waste Management Rules 2016, etc. But these have not delivered the desired results, owing to following reasons: rapid urbanization with low ecological awareness and lack of citizen participation in waste management, lack of India-specific studies on characterization of MSW to design adequate processing methods, inadequate implementation of rules by the ULBs due to various reasons including absence of auditing and other accountability mechanisms. Majority of the solid waste management budget is allotted for collection and transportation, leaving very little for processing and disposal. Resistance for notification of new landfill sites by local residents, leading the existing landfill sites to run beyond their capacity. Non-involvement of informal sector such as rag pickers, etc. into the waste management plan. Financial non-viability of waste to energy projects. Thus, India needs to involve and integrate its organized sector and unorganized sector and empower its ULBs. This only can ensure the success of Swachh Bharat mission and the actualization of the dream of smart urban India. 15. The perennial problem of smog across large parts of North India has worsened despite government and judicial interventions. Examine what feasible steps can be taken to effectively address this problem. Approach: begin with a brief description of the issue and list its causes. Mention steps taken by the government and the judiciary over the years to combat this issue. Suggest a few reasons for their failure. Conclude by listing a few pertinent solutions to address this problem effectively. Answer: large areas in Punjab, Haryana, Delhi, up and other regions of North India, which gets covered with thick layers of smog usually in winters, have been facing the problem of worsening air quality year on year. The reasons behind this include cold weather and stagnant winds trapping smoke, mainly from burning of crop stubbles, lit garbage, industrial pollution and road dust in lower layers of the atmosphere. Steps taken by the center and state governments: the odd-even rule aimed at decongestion of roads, setting up of monitoring network for assessment of ambient air quality, implementation of Bharat stage norms, imposition of green cess on commercial vehicles, etc. 15. www.visionaries.in Copyright Vision IAS. Steps taken by the judiciary. The judiciary has also taken cognizance of the issue and issued directives to the center and state governments, such as appointing Environment Pollution Control Authority, banning the sale of firecrackers in the national capital, enforcing Graded Response Action Plan GRAP, ordering a shift to CNG for commercial vehicles, etc. Additionally, the National Green Tribunal prohibited burning of crop residue in Delhi, Punjab, Haryana, Rajasthan and up. It also ordered phasing out of diesel vehicles for central and state government personnel. However, despite these measures, the problem of smog has become a persistent annual phenomenon. This can be attributed to the passive and reactionary attitude of the state governments, pressure on urban areas, geographic causes like northern India witnessing no daily change/reversal in direction of wind movement to continentality, lack of a proper coordination mechanism among concerned authorities, poor implementation of judicial directives, and negligence on part of civic agencies to ensure greening of road margins to check dust levels. Steps required to effectively address the problem. Despite these, a comprehensive action plan needs to be implemented that should include the following: effective policy and financial support for utilization of crop residue, paddy straw and other agro waste into biomass briquette making, livestock feed, compost, etc. Greening of cities on a mission mode, via landscaping of open spaces and paving of all public areas to reduce dust. Strict implementation of waste management rules, specifically, to ensure reutilization of construction and demolition waste and strict enforcement of ban on burning of municipal waste. Stress on use of public transport, along with adequate parking reforms and infrastructure creation to ease mobility across cities. Adoption of international best practices, such as the steps taken during the Great London Smog, the Air Pollution Action Plan in Beijing and Mexico. To ensure the success of above steps, interstate and interdepartmental coordination becomes imperative. 16. Why is the distribution of major fishing areas skewed towards the higher latitudes as compared to the tropics? What are the challenges that the fishery industry is facing globally? Enumerate the measures taken by the various international bodies in order to make the activity more sustainable. Approach, discuss the factors that make higher latitudes preferable than tropics. Discuss the challenges faced by fishery industry globally. Enumerate the measures taken by the international bodies. Answer, the major commercial fishing grounds are located in the cool waters of the middle and high latitudes of northern hemisphere because best fishing grounds are found above continental shelves which are not more than 200 meters below the water surface, where plankton of all kinds are most abundant. Such extensive continental shelves are located in higher or mid-latitudes in the northern hemisphere, e.g., the banks off Newfoundland, the North Sea, etc. Marine life is found to be best developed in oceans with a temperature lower than 20 degrees C. Therefore, continental shelves of the tropics are relatively less rich in plankton. Coastlines are very much indented and are backed by strong relief, such as sheltered inlets and estuarine coasts that make ideal sites for fishing ports and villages. Mixing of cold and warm currents occurs here, which results in plankton growth and consequently fishes. 16. www.visionis.in Copyright Vision IACE. Westerlies result in ocean current circulation which also aid the conditions for fish population growth. Fishing is more economical in higher latitudes because in tropical waters fishes are found in multiple varieties of breeds which is not suitable for scalable commercial exploitation. Nutrient content of high latitude fishes is greater than the tropics. Also, the shelf life of fish in tropical climate is lower and there is high oil content in the fish affecting their taste and commercial value. Commercial fishing industry requires high capital investment and hence it is well established in developed countries, which are mainly located in higher latitudes. Challenges faced by the fishery industry. Inland fish production has declined due to proliferation of water control structure, marine piracy, loss of habitat and indiscriminate fishing. Marine fishing has declined due to depleting resources, energy crisis, and resultant high cost of fishing. Exploitation beyond nearshore regions, which should have been used as a buffer zone to augment and replenish resources in both nearshore and offshore regions, has been injudicious. The sector is also experiencing loss of biodiversity on account of adverse climate change. Domination by an unorganized sector which operates on traditional lines with little proliferation of technological improvements. Countries are yet to realize the potential of deep-sea fishing. Poor infrastructure, especially in relation to marine fishing, results in significant post-harvest losses. Poor quality of fish feed. Security of fishermen, especially along the maritime boundaries. Measures taken by the various international bodies in order to make the activity more sustainable. The United Nations Agreement on Straddling and Highly Migratory Fish Stocks, commonly called the UNFISH Stocks Agreement, provides the framework for conservation and management of straddling and highly migratory fish stocks in high seas areas. Food and Agriculture Organization FAO has formulated code of conduct for responsible fisheries as well as various international plans of action for management of sharks, incidental catch of seabirds, illegal fishing, etc. Sustainable Development Goal 14 focuses on the conservation and sustainable use of oceans, seas and marine resources with a special emphasis on threats like overfishing. International non-profit organizations such as Aquaculture Stewardship Council ASC promote responsible fish farming practices through their certification program and IUCN coordinates conservation and management of marine biodiversity.